Okay, so today I'm going to give you the 7 steps to mastering delegation. Hey there, my name is Chris Hughes, and in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a lesson I learned from Dan Kennedy in this book, the No B.S. Guide to Productivity for Entrepreneurs. So what I want to do is I want to actually share the 7-step process that Dan teaches inside this book and just kind of give it to you so that way you can start to go through it and implement delegation in your business. Okay, so why is delegation actually important and why should you pay any attention to this? In its simplest form, delegating allows you to free up more of your time, right? And as we all know, we have a finite amount of time every single day. We all have 24 hours in a day. No matter if you're you, me, Jay-Z, Beyonce, like whoever you happen to be, Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, everyone only has 24 hours in a day. So if you don't learn to start delegating, you can't scale anything. Like you can't take your business to the next level, you can't free up your time, you can't like grow your business in its like simplest form, right? So let's get into the first step here. The first step of delegation is to define what needs to be done. So this makes sense, right? Like you need to know what it is that needs to get done before anything can get done. So I want you to think about that for just a second. Think about the stuff that's very tedious in your business, the stuff that needs to get done every single day. And a lot of the times you're probably the one who's actually doing it. I've been very guilty of this in the past, doing things that I know I shouldn't. So that's one of the first things is figuring out and defining what it is that does need to be delegated. So step 2 is actually making sure that the person you're delegating to understands what needs to be done. So this is kind of just making sure that you and the person who's going to be handling this task are on the same page, right? So that way you're not telling them, you know, I need a video edited, and what they think that you said is I need a photo made or something like that. You need to be on the same page with the person you're handing this task off to. Okay, so step 3 is actually explaining why it is to be done in a certain way, like why the thing that needs to get done needs to be done in the way that it needs to be done. That sounds really weird, doesn't it? Like why something needs to be done in the way it needs to be done? Well, you need the person who's going to be handling the task to understand, like at its core, why this particular task needs to get done. So for me, I do a lot of video stuff. So in part of the process, it's like record the video and then edit the video and then like reasonings behind editing the video, cuts, things like that, background sounds, all of that kind of stuff. So explaining that to a video editor prior to me handing them a video would make it a little easier for them to be on the same page as me, right? So that way we have clear goals. We're both working towards something together rather than me expecting something and the video person delivering something completely different. So make sure you tell them why and you actually get them to understand and think about it the same way that you are. Okay, step 4 in this process is to teach how it is to be done without micromanaging. And this can be difficult for a lot of us. We have these things that we want done in particular orders, right? Like we know what we're looking for, we know what we want, we know what we're expecting. And we need to be sure that the person that we're working with understands that. So what that means is we need to actually teach it to the person who's going to be doing it with how we would be doing it. And of course, not everything is going to be perfect because a person that you hire isn't going to be an exact clone of who you are. Like that would be weird, and that would be awesome if it was possible, but someone's going to bring a unique flair, a unique like ability into working with you. So you need to kind of work with them. So teach them your process, teach the exact steps that you go through, and then work with them a little bit, not super micromanaging, but work with them so that way you both get closer towards the ultimate version of what it is that needs to get done. So step 5 here is to be sure that the person you're delegating the task to understands the how-to process, like making sure that they actually know what they're doing and that you guys are on the same page, right? It's kind of similar to the previous step, but it's just making sure that you guys are on the same page and that the person understands the how-to in order to get closer towards what needs to be done. So part 6, setting the deadline. I've struggled with this a lot in my personal life and my personal business. I know that things need to get done, but I don't always set a specific date. And people who have gone into like corporate America, like you have strict dates for processes and things that need to get done. You know that by a certain time, things need to be handed to the boss or handed to the superior, whatever that happens to be. So what happens is you, as the leader now, someone who's delegating tasks, you need to be clear and deliberate about the timing of completion, or at least some kind of like progress reports coming in at a certain time or certain day. So that way you guys are actively working towards completion of the project. In the last step here, be sure that you have an agreement between you and the person you're delegating the task to when the project needs to be done or when the task needs to be done. Agreeing on this makes it easier for both parties to kind of work together to make sure that the tasks do get done in on a timely fashion. Like, you want to make sure that you guys are talking back and forth to make sure everyone's on the same page for this particular project. And by doing this, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that everyone's a little bit happier. Like, you know that there's expectations that are set, there's things that you know need to be done, there's things that the person you're delegating the task does and knows when they need to be done, and then you come to a mutual agreement. So that way you're not expecting someone to build something that should take like 2 months and giving them a timeline of like 2 days. Like, doing that would be unreasonable, right? And the thing is, if you guys don't talk about this, you might not know how long something takes. And that's fine. Like, you need to like actively talk with the person that you're working with in a way that keeps the communication doors like open. Like, you want to make sure that you guys are working together in order to get towards the end goal, right? So that's a lesson that I've actually learned from Dan Kennedy that I wanted to share with you here. If you have questions about this, or if you're looking for resources of where you can start delegating tasks, I know a lot of you do not know where you can actually start hiring people for this. I'm going to link up a video down below and at the end of this video that's going to teach you my top 3 favorite resources for hiring outsourcers, virtual assistants, just freelancers, things like that. The resources that I wish I knew about prior to starting my business. So I put together a video that'll teach that. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much. I'm also going to link up the book that I learned this in, so that way if you want to get the book and actually read it, you can. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below if you like this video, if you like this kind of content. Give it a like thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet, so that way you can see more videos just like this. So thank you again. My name is Chris Hughes, and I will see you in the next video.